Good morning, KU, and welcome to our 101st episode.
That's exciting. You know, they had a big party yesterday, and while we are not the 100th episode, we are the 101st, so we kind of get to start our own little era now.
Yes.
Our own new era.
The next 100 shows.
Pretty
starting
exciting.
here.
Okay, so first, if you are a KU basketball fan, as I hope most of us are, then you know that JoJo is supposedly saying bye-bye to KU.
There's been a lot of talk this morning and kind of
Yes.
leading up to today.
Yes, I woke up to a text from my brother saying he was leaving, and my heart dropped a little bit. But he's kind of giving out hope some right now.
Right,
some
he's
hope.
being a little wish-washy on Twitter. He's said, to people saying good luck, I support you, good luck in the draft.
You know, he's been saying he hasn't made a decision yet, and
so we're all just holding our breath and waiting for JoJo to come out and
Yes.
say if he's staying or leaving. Obviously, we want him to stay, but
yes, we wish him the best. I personally think, I don't know, we'll just see what happens. I know a lot of KU students will be on edge today and constantly checking their phones. There's supposed to be a formal announcement coming soon, so I guess we'll let you know when that happens.
right, just keep an eye out for his Twitter. Here's a
Some
snapshot
tweets
of
from him
his Twitter page. Him being a little bit
telling Cliff Alexander, you know, our new recruit, that he still doesn't know, but we're keeping our fingers crossed that he's coming back. So we'll see what happens with that.
Right. So, in some other news, I've been really into this missing plane, this missing
Who hasn't
Malaysian
been
plane,
into it?
and there's been so much every day, new details, some conspiracy theories, and I know recently the latest news update is that with some French and Thai satellite image, they've seen some objects in the Indian Ocean.
I think they see objects every day that could be the plane.
Right, all
honestly.
over. Like they don't even know where to look.
Who knows?
So we're keeping an eye on that, but I think it's so interesting, all of the conspiracy theories that are going on. So I looked at some of the most interesting ones, and of course, I think at the beginning, a lot of people were talking about how some of the family members were still calling their loved ones' cell phones, and they were still ringing.
Yeah, if the plane is in the ocean, would they still ring? I don't think
know. So I don't really know what to make of that.
That's interesting.
I know a good one was that 2 tickets were supposedly bought with a stolen passport. So I don't know if that led to some hijacking ideas, or I don't know what that is either. But then some other crazy ones that are surfacing a little bit. I think these kind of crazy ideas surface when no one really knows. There's not a lot of facts, but so I've heard that possibly a portal has opened and sucked up the plane.
Okay, I guess it's always possible.
Logical. The Bermuda Triangle has moved to the Indian Ocean.
Okay. Or maybe there's just a new Bermuda Triangle, or another one.
Mysterious triangles.
2 Bermuda Triangles.
Or the plane is possibly parked at some obscure island and waiting to be used in some plot that is just beginning to unfold.
Probably the same island or a similar island to the one Amelia Earhart is on right now.
Everyone on the plane is hanging out with Amelia Earhart maybe somewhere?
Yeah,
It's a possibility. Okay, so the craziest one that I've seen is coming from an article on Boston.com. Apparently, there could have been some kind of miniature hydrogen bomb controlled by an iPhone app, and it created a miniature black hole that the plane has disappeared through.
Okay,
So,
I think everyone has their own theories, and I just can't wait to find out what actually happened. This whole thing has been fascinating to me, and I really hope they do find it for the sake of all those families who have someone missing.
Right, my heart does go out to all those families, missing family members. I'm sure they just want to know if their family members are safe, and yeah, I do. My heart goes out to them.
Well, I think that's all we have time for right now, but no matter if you're looking for a missing plane or a KU fan wanting JoJo back, just remember, Jayhawks, we all from Africa.
We'll be right back with more Good Morning KU.
Welcome back, everybody, into Good Morning KU. I'm here with Ben Brody and John Moore. Guys, first off, thanks for joining us here.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for having us.
And Ben, I want to start with you now. You've done some work in Iraq as a soldier, and you've worked in Afghanistan as a photographer as well. And I think we do have some pictures of your work as well, so everybody watching can see some of those. But first off, I just want to know, you mentioned burn pits before we came on air, and could you just describe, because it was news to me, and I'm sure it's news to everybody else who aren't familiar with it, what is the issue with burn pits and what are they?
Sure. I would say burn pits are, on every military base, they generate a tremendous amount of trash that they need to deal with. And since there are limited landfill availability to them, they burn everything, and they burn a lot of plastic bottles, they burn food, human waste, and the smoke from this trash is nasty. And soldiers have been exposed to this quite a bit, and it's an emerging health issue among the military community, I would say on the scale of Gulf War syndrome.
Okay. Wow. Well, and as you have mentioned, you've been a soldier yourself as well, and you have some interesting pictures of young soldiers in the line of battle. Could you describe or explain to people why get into that? Why fight as a soldier at such a young age?
Sure, yeah, if we could show those pictures. This photograph is of 3 privates who have just been through their first firefight. And you can see how they're sort of exulting and feeling the rush of the moment. And they've passed this, this major sort of cultural touchstone within the military and have proven themselves. And it's something that they've always wanted. And then the next picture is of, we show the,
Try to get
yeah, this picture is of a sergeant who has also been through a firefight, the same one that these soldiers have been in. But for him, this is more like his 100th firefight. And you can see the exhaustion. This is him just dropping his gear at the end of it, just sick of it all. And the next picture is another sergeant who has been many firefights, been wounded many times. He had had 5 Purple Hearts. He had just recovered from being shot in the head and recovered and demanded to go back out with his platoon. And this is him strapping on his helmet, getting ready to join a firefight in progress on the roof.
Some very powerful images there. So now as we move on, John, I understand that you work with the Getty Images, a senior photographer. First off, I just want to ask, and we have some of your work as well here. You just got back from Venezuela a few weeks ago. Could you describe, what was going on and what were you covering mainly over there?
Sure. Venezuela is going through quite a bit of turmoil right now with daily and violent demonstrations against the government. They have some of the highest inflation in the world right now. And as you can see in this photograph, people wait for hours and hours to get basic foodstuffs like wheat and like sugar, flour, just basics so they can cook. And it's caused quite a bit of opposition in the country. And I had to travel with body armor, bulletproof vest, flak jacket, helmet, a gas mask. As you can see in some of these upcoming photographs, the demonstrations were quiet during the day, early in the day, and you'd see all the streets barricaded around the different cities in the country. But as the afternoons wore on, protesters would attack National Guard soldiers, and I was usually with the protesters. The Venezuelan military typically doesn't like a lot of foreign media there, and so they treat us harshly. I had colleagues who were beaten and detained. I myself was detained by military intelligence and interrogated at some point as an American photojournalist. And I was wearing, as you see in some of these protesters have gas masks or just bandanas over their faces. You had to navigate the tear gas and some of the shotguns firing from the military. And so that's an example of what covering street protests can be like. I speak Spanish, and so that was obviously very helpful to me as well.
Right. Well, so we've seen kind of some of the horrors of war, and I know that you've done some work as well, and I think we have a photo from the Arlington National Cemetery as well. Can you describe just kind of the other dynamic to the other side of the war, people who aren't with their loved ones?
That's right, and as we saw the pictures of Ben's from combat zones You know, war touches our society in many different ways. Of course, it touches the young men and women who are fighting in Afghanistan and previously Iraq, but it touches many more people back home. And one day, near Memorial Day a couple years ago, I went and photographed at Arlington National Cemetery, where our slain soldiers are laid to rest, many of them, in section 60 of the cemetery. And I walked up, and before this picture was taken, I spoke with her, Mary McHugh. During a quiet moment, I spoke with her for a little while, and then I walked around the cemetery a while. When I came back, there she was, lying over the grave of her lost fiance, and he had died earlier that year. And she lay there on the grave, speaking to the stone. It was a very quiet and horrible, tragic moment. I took a few pictures and then moved on and did not interrupt her after that. And so some of the tragedy that we see of conflict photography is on the front lines, and sometimes it's more quiet moments, haunting moments back home. Right.
Well, I understand that all of your photographs that will be on display here at KU will be part of the Combat Zone exhibit. And for those who would like to see those photographs, you can all go down to the Clarkson Gallery in Stauffer Flint Hall. That's available weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then also, I've been told that if a special appointment needs to be made at other hours of the time, that is also available to the public as well. So guys, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you sharing some of your work as well. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.